Well, John, a new year, a new you, they say. But what we are experiencing here is very much the same old Donald Trump. 10 weeks on, and he's still desperate to prove that he won the election, an election which, by the way, in a matter of days will be signed, sealed and certified for Joe Biden. And yet what this phone call reveals is how desperate, the lengths that Donald Trump will go to try and reverse the decision of millions of Americans. And he is doing so, by the way, with hundreds of millions of dollars of new funding. Will it succeed? No. But will it undermine Joe Biden and further sow the seeds of division in America? Well, yes, it will. But this is a president, I need not remind you, John, who does not take losing lightly.
I just want 11,780 votes.
An extraordinary request from Donald Trump during an hour-long phone call to the Secretary of State in Georgia, pressing him to find votes to overturn the result of the election. Joe Biden won Georgia by 11,779 votes, hence Trump's desperation to find that number of ballots plus one more so he can flip the state and claim victory for himself. The tally, though, has already been counted 3 times, once by hand and certified. Yet 2 months on, a desperate and deluded-sounding president still insists he won.
We have many times the number of votes necessary to win the state, and we won the state, and we won it very substantially.
President Trump, we've had several lawsuits, and we've had to respond in court to the lawsuits and the contentions. We don't agree that you have won.
So what are we going to do here, folks? I only need 11,000 votes. Fellas, I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
The call on Saturday was private, but was leaked yesterday by the Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger himself after Donald Trump attacked him on Twitter. But the president offered no new evidence, only repeated rumors that hundreds of thousands of ballots mysteriously appeared in favor of Joe Biden, which Raffensperger insisted was not true.
We believe that we do have an accurate election.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have, not even close. You're off by hundreds of thousands of votes.
Have you all heard about that recorded conversation?
Cars honked in recognition during a rally held by Vice President-elect Kamala Harris in Savannah, Georgia last night. She's here ahead of the crucial twin runoff elections on Tuesday that will determine which party controls the all-powerful U.S. Senate.
Well, it was, yes, certainly the voice of desperation. Most certainly that. And it was a bald-faced, bold abuse of power by the President of the United States.
An allegation of abuse of power that lawyers say could land the president in legal trouble, as could his warning to Raffensperger and his lawyer.
You know what they did, and you're not reporting it. That's a criminal offense, and you can't let that happen. That's a big risk to you and to Ryan, your lawyer. That's a big risk. I'm notifying you that you're letting it happen.
Revered journalist Carl Bernstein said the recording was worse than the Watergate scandal that brought down President Nixon.
We are listening in real time to the president propose that there be a conspiracy to steal the election for the presidency of the United States. A coup, whatever word we choose to use. It is time for the Republican leadership and the Democratic leadership of the Senate and the House to demand that this president of the United States resign immediately.
Do you have any comment on the president's call this weekend with the Georgia Secretary of State?
Instead, Vice President Mike Pence is on his way to Georgia, where Donald Trump is tonight hosting what he's calling a victory rally. But there's no chance Trump's cajoling will reverse November's election result here. Instead, by questioning the integrity of the system, the president could ironically hand Joe Biden's Democrats another victory by dissuading Republicans from voting in tomorrow's critical Senate race.
Well, we're joined now from Washington, D.C. by Neil Katyal, a law professor and former acting Solicitor General in the Obama administration. Was the president breaking the law by making this call?
Well, it sure looks like that. I mean, when you talk about breaking the law, that's a criminal investigation. It requires a certain criminal intent, a mens rea, and a certain actus reus, a certain act. The act looks like it happened, in which both is a violation of federal and state law. The president looks like he's trying to urge the Georgia Secretary of State to change votes and using the powers of his office and saying you'll be prosecuted if not. But, there could be any number of mitigating circumstances. That's what criminal investigations are all about. I think the one thing that I'm sure of after listening to that hour-long tape is that a criminal investigation needs to be opened both at the federal and at the state level.
Because, I mean, as you say, if you go through the transcript and the call, it's the president who is alleging a series of criminal offences, of things that have been done to lose his votes or to invent votes for the other side. So, I mean, will anybody be, investigating the allegations as well as what he's done?
Well, so far we don't know of any open investigations. We know that the Georgia officials have written both to the federal FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, as well as to state prosecutors saying, please open investigations. So, presumably those will be opened. Now, President Trump has done something which I think would be unthinkable to both people in the UK and the United States 4 years ago, which is try and corrupt the Justice Department to become his personal law firm and protect him. And so for years, when criminal allegations against the president have been made in the past, he's been able to use his attorney general to stop them. Now, he's running out of time. He's only got 16 days left. So his best move now to try and stop a federal investigation is to try and pardon himself, which is a dubious issue in the law, since both in the UK, starting with Dr. Bonham's case in 1610 and going all the way into Anglo-American law, we've had a principle that you can't be a judge in your own case. So it's not clear that he could ultimately get away with that, but I suspect that that's what he's going to try to do. The genius of the American system is even if he does that at the federal level, you've still got that state prosecution to worry about because the president can't pardon himself or pardon anyone else for a state crime.
So there is no protection from state laws once he stops being president?
Right. The only protection is, the thuggery power that he's, seen wielding right now. Do this and, something bad will happen to you. And, unfortunately, I suspect that kind of behavior will continue even after he's out of office. I mean, this is the language and the behavior of a mafia person. And we know what happens when figures in organized crime get prosecuted. So, I suspect some ugly things to happen, but I am also very proud of the American system, both at the state and federal level. I think that if crimes were committed here, Mr. Trump will be brought to justice.
Neil Katyal, thank you very much.